This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Reverend David Brown has been a pillar of support for Dunedin's firefighters for 25 years. John Swan and co-owner Jeanette Armstrong is sick of people who defile her car park each weekend. And Wanaka Creative Fibre is a group dedicated to all things natural and wearable. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Reverend David Brown has been a pillar of support for Dunedin's firefighters for 25 years. Yesterday, a special ceremony was held as thanks for his service as chaplain for the city's fire crews.
A celebration of 25 years as a chaplain to Dunedin's firefighters. Reverend David Brown's service as a chaplain for Dunedin's fire crews since 1994 was acknowledged yesterday with a special ceremony at Dunedin Central Fire Station. But he's not ready to retire just yet.
Well, I'll stay around here for a while, but I am getting old, so there will be a time when I pull the pin here and move on.
Part of his job as chaplain is visiting fire stations around the city twice a week, making himself available for anyone who wants to speak to him.
But I visit for at least 4 hours a week and just wander around the stations and touch base with guys. And the best part is that sort of friendship and being accepted and being available to the guys.
He's there to help with the grieving process following death and tragedy, but he's also involved with wedding ceremonies.
It's been a good journey. It's been a great journey. There's been all sorts of ups and downs. You know, there's been funerals I've taken for people, but then there's been weddings I've taken for people, and and tough times and good times.
If Reverend Brown happens to be at a fire station when a call-out comes through, he's often able to jump in a fire truck for a ride. And he says the fire crews are keen to make him feel as one of them.
I get a lot of cheek and give a lot of cheek and enjoy the company of these guys, because they're good guys, so yeah. And girls now. So.
Part of yesterday's ceremony included the presentation of a medal in recognition of his service. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Yellow-eyed penguins were some of the winners in the Department of Conservation's community funding announcement yesterday. Over $8 million in government grants have been allocated to various community groups across New Zealand. Over $500,000 will go towards 3 projects working to save the nationally endangered hoiho penguin. The Dunedin Wildlife Hospital Trust is being given $165,000 to help care for the birds, including treatment for predator-inflicted injuries. The Yellow-eyed Penguin Trust is receiving over $300,000 for more intensive management of the birds. And $55,000 has also been given for a ranger at the largest hoiho colony at Kartiki Point. Yellow-eyed penguin nests on the mainland are believed to have dropped from well over 200 to just 162 nests this year. John Swan and co-owner Jeanette Armstrong is sick of people who urinate, vomit, smash bottles and commit vandalism in her Bath Street car park at the back of the Moray Place shop each weekend. Not even CCTV cameras and a motion-triggered light deter up to 30 people a weekend defiling her car park, many of whom she's caught on camera. And a warning, this is a story about bodily functions, so viewer discretion is advised.
It's footage like this, and the Monday morning clean-up that John Swan and co-owner Jeanette Armstrong is completely sick of.
Our car park is like the public urinal on a Friday and Saturday night. People come down here, they're peeing in the gardens, they're being sick in the gardens, they're writing on the walls a wee bit.
The car park is one of the entrances to the business, and every Monday morning staff have to pick up broken glass and clean up vomit and urine. She says the camera captures most of the weekend's events.
And really, I mean, some nights, there's up to 30 people in here. So on the camera you can actually see all the wet patches all the way through. So luckily we live in Dunedin and we get a bit of liquid sunshine that washes it down every now and again, but it's just pretty disgusting, really.
Armstrong is stunned that people still continue to behave this way despite the deterrents already in place, and is planning another way to put a dampener on people's nocturnal activities.
So our plan is that we're going to put up a sprinkler system that sprays our car park, during the hours that we aren't using it. There'll be some mist spraying going on from a watering system, and that'll just keep it all, clear. And because my customers, they walk into this car park. This is one of our entrances to our business.
The sensor-activated sprinkler system in the car park will operate between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. and will spray water whenever it's triggered, which she's completely unapologetic about.
If you're in there peeing in my car park when the water system goes off, well, sorry team, it's only water. It's not offensive, but it is better for our image and keeping our car park clean.
Jeanette Armstrong says some CCTV footage has been provided to police, as urinating in public places is a criminal offence. And she's also spoken to the Dunedin City Council about the issue and says they should be doing something about it. In a statement, the council says while it's an offence to dump rubbish on private land without the owner's consent, the council needs positive proof of dumping, so it can be difficult to enforce in cases like Armstrong's. In Dunedin, the South Today.
One person is reportedly seriously injured after a vehicle was struck by rockfall on State Highway 6. Police received a report around 2 p.m. of a vehicle being struck by rockfall about 800 metres north of O'Sullivan's Bridge near Murchison. Initial reports are that one person is seriously injured in the incident. State Highway 6 is currently closed at the scene and motorists were advised to avoid the area. The Serious Crash Unit is attending. Wanaka Creative Fibre is a group dedicated to all things natural and wearable. The group held 50th anniversary celebrations in Wanaka yesterday.
From sheep to hair, taking fibres from here to there. The Wanaka Creative Fibre Group has celebrated 50 years not out with a show and tell event.
We're advocates for wool and for the natural fibres, and also they're so beautiful to use, where the if you know the feel of a synthetic, it's just different. It's just not so nice to work with.
The group weaves, spins, knits, felts and crochets a wide range of natural fibres like wool, silk, linen, cotton and more to produce clothing, accessories and artworks. Wanaka-based needle felting artist Irene Smith is proving natural fibres can be used for more than just clothing, displaying her felt hares and angels while sharing an insight into her process.
But it's more about sculpture. You've got to sculpt it, but that attaches it too. So you would then build up layers.
Heather Kerr's half silk, half merino jacket was among a handful of splendid pieces of wearable art on display. Creative Fibre leader Margaret Stenhouse says although the event is multifaceted, taking on all manner of fibres, it's come from humble beginnings.
Well, in the beginning it was just wool because it was farmers' wives meeting country people usually and spinning with a spinning wheel, so they were spinning the yarn of the fleeces of the sheep that they found. Would be the beginning.
The day's events also featured a number of talks and an awards ceremony celebrating those who are a cut above the rest in the textile community, where everyone enjoys a good yarn. In Wanaka, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, anglers received good news about Dunedin's new $1 million wharf, and the annual New Zealand Agricultural Show gets underway in Christchurch, so see you after the break.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Larnach Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full-paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. Good news for anglers and those showing off their big catch. Dunedin's new $1 million wharf should be completed by the end of next week, just in time for summer. The first sections have been lifted into place using a large Titan crane at Boiler Point in Port Chalmers. Port Otago says the build date had been pushed back due to design changes. The design has switched from an all-steel structure to a steel frame with a recycled wood deck, which has a slightly shorter lifespan. Once completed, the T-shaped jetty will allow anglers to fish into 5-metre deep waters next to the shipping channel. The $1 million jetty is estimated to have a 65-year lifespan. The annual New Zealand Agricultural Show is being held in Christchurch this week. Organisers are expecting more than 100,000 people to visit the show over 3 days at the 42-hectare purpose-built showgrounds in Wigram.
Crowds flocking to the 3-day-long New Zealand Agricultural Show in Wigram, Christchurch. More than 100,000 people are expected to visit the show, with over $16 million expected to pass through the tills at Canterbury Agricultural Park over the 3 days. As the country's largest agricultural show, the event features more than 6,000 heads of livestock and 500 trade sites. Richard Nimmo's 1937 McCormick Deering F12 tractor is the oldest tractor on display. He says there's a wide range of tractors of a very high standard.
We've got a vast range from McCormick Deerings, right from very early F14, right through to the WD9 on display here today. And we've also got a Massey 165, which is beautifully restored. So, and there's lots of different stuff. That we've also got a new cup that's available for Best Originals. You may see them over in the corner, off to my right. We've got a little Austin 7 that was built in the early 1930s, and we've got a Massey Harris 744, which is still in its working clothes, and it still owns in the same family all its working life.
There's plenty of different sheep breeds on show for judging, as well as shearing demonstrations and competitions. Minister of Agriculture Damien O'Connor is hoping to find new ways to help sheep farmers get more money for their wool.
I see huge opportunities around the world as more people are looking to nature, looking for renewable, recyclable, biodegradable, natural products. Then wool can do so many things that are currently being covered by oil-based products, and we should be able to replace them all.
While O'Connor is a dairy farmer himself, he says there's a universal preference to dry stock farming, and he's hopeful an increase in the wool market will bring a change to the agricultural scene.
I think all dairy farmers would like to be dry stock farmers really and stop milking if they could make enough money, and that's why if we get it from meat, which we are, and get it from wool, then we can put dry stock farming back into an equivalent area of income with dairy, if we do this right and get the returns for wool along with meat from sheep.
Horse riding is also an event at the show, and the New Zealand Rodeo Cowboys Association says you can start at an early age at the horse riding challenges at the 30 or so rodeos held around the country each year.
You can pretty much, if you know how to walk, you can ride a horse, so you can pretty much come in from any age. I think the youngest we've got is it'll be 4 or 5 year olds right up to mid-70s competing.
Farmers are also learning that anything created as part of human settlement before 1900 is protected as being an archaeological artefact.
We're here with examples of rural archaeology, both archaeology from rural activities, such as the South Canterbury rabbit fence, and also the type of archaeology that you might find on rural properties in Canterbury, such as Māori rock art.
With the first Irish embassy having opened in Wellington last year, the Green Hills of Ireland are also being promoted at the event. The agricultural show ends tomorrow, which is a public holiday in Christchurch and North Canterbury. In Wigram, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, the cost of the new Greymouth Hospital blows its projected budget, and we have tomorrow's weather for you, so stay with us.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mu'minul muhayminul azizul jabbarul mutakabbir.
Thanks for staying with us. The cost of the new Greymouth Hospital is now almost $91 million, according to the Ministry of Health. The build was originally costed at just under $70 million, but project delays and additional construction costs have blown that budget. The project, seen here during construction earlier this year, is expected to be at least 2 years overdue. The Ministry of Health is currently in a $31 million dispute with lead contractor Fletchers. The West Coast DHB says the soonest they can move into the new hospital will be March or April next year. Meanwhile, plans for a new health centre in Westport to replace Buller Hospital are inching closer, with a call for contractors to clear the site before construction. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Reverend David Brown has been a pillar of support for Dunedin's firefighters for 25 years and is retiring this week. John Swan and co-owner Jeanette Armstrong is sick of people who defile her car park each weekend, so she says those using her park as a toilet are in for a wet surprise. And Wanaka's creative fibre group are dedicated to all things natural and wearable and celebrated 50 years strong this week. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry. What have you got for us in tomorrow's ODT?
Well, we actually talked to 3 Southland firefighters who have just returned from fighting those devastating New South Wales bushfires. So
it's just horrific.
Amazing, yeah. So yeah, very concerning and scary, as you say. So yeah. We'll get some insight into that after a discussion with these firefighters who have returned exhausted after their period over there. So it must be pretty hard work. So moving on, more than 60 University of Otago medical students have come forward after an overseas placement scam was uncovered. So more details on that. And the government says it will be closely monitoring the Southern District Health Board to ensure that it is providing appropriate maternity services to the South. Otago Museum had some big plans to raise climate change awareness in Samoa later this year, but they have been postponed because of an outbreak of measles.
Yes, I heard about that.
Yeah, so and the immigration minister is blaming poor pay rates, not visa issues, for Queenstown's bus driver shortage. Big sports tabloid tomorrow, of course, the regular sports section. We'll have a range of stories in there, including the announcement of the Black Caps test team.
So there's definitely something for everyone in tomorrow's paper.
Indeed.
Thank you, and you can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. And it's time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with today's southern view, a Dunedin arborist just taking a bit off the top today. Looking at the situation, westerly airflow brings rain and showers to western areas tomorrow and through the weekend, but more changeable weather in the east with some warmer periods. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are set for grey skies, rain and 14 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect a clouded 2 and 18 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, you'll have some cloudy skies across this area. Kaikoura, you have 17 degrees, Christchurch, you also have 17, and Ashburton, you reach 18. To the southern outlook, Balclutha, the Catlins, Lumsden and Gore can all expect fresh northwesterlies, rain later. You are all set to reach 14 with the Catlins just reaching a high of 13. To the central outlook, Queenstown and Wanaka are all in for fresh northwesterlies and rain later. Alexandra, Queenstown and Wanaka, you all reach 14, and it's the same for Te Anau, which sees showers clearing and pretty much nice weather in this part of the town. To the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru both reach 14 and 15, and Twizel and Omarama are both set for 15, with fresh northwesterlies and cloud increasing. In Dunedin, becoming fine tonight with light winds and an overnight low of 9. tomorrow sees sunny periods with high cloud, breezy northeasterlies dying out, looking at a high of 13 and a low of 7. And on Saturday we're looking at a decent high of 17 and a low of 9. And in Invercargill, mostly fine tonight with an overnight low of 8 degrees. Cloud increasing during the morning tomorrow and rain developing late in the day with mild northwesterlies freshening, looking at a high of 14 and a low of 8. And on Saturday it looks like there's going to be a bit of sun, but with some cold southwest winds. It's still looking at a high of 17 and a low of 9. And that's all from the South Today team for this Thursday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.